Hey everybody, welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars. This is the Upper Dining Club Roundtable podcast where 5 friends discuss the Columbus Crew. On this episode, we're going to review the unfortunate events from the Seattle game last night.
Tip of the Zawa.
We're going to do a lot of reading of the internet and thoughts and players.
Oh yeah,
a lot of thoughts, a lot of players. We'll get a Crew 2 update. We'll look at our predictions table, and then we'll look ahead to the Hell is Real Part 2.
Yeah.
Revenge Edition away game against Cincinnati coming up this weekend on the 14th. With me in the club are Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas. Full house. Say hey, guys.
Her family's back
Good
together again.
Missed you last week, Mort.
Yep.
You were at the fireworks, the big fireworks show.
It's a lot of hate on that.
Haas's new
A
best
lot of
friend.
hate on the fireworks.
Labor Day fireworks.
Yep.
America. So America.
That's all you have to say. You were with.
That's all I have to tell.
It
was
Columbus Deuce, right?
Columbus Deuce. Yeah.
Senor Frankie.
Yeah, I was with some friends and very close to the fireworks, so much that the ashes and pieces that was falling on us. Kids were crying because they were looking at the firework, getting stuff in their eyes. It was such a disaster.
Sounds labor intensive.
It was a great fireworks.
It sounds like it. Immersive experience. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I still think it's ridiculous they have fireworks for Labor Day. Be like Arbor Day, time to fireworks. America.
So yeah, welcome back, Mort. Missed you last week, and
I missed you guys too. I tried to get on, but you guys were done already.
Yeah, we made quick work.
It was fast.
And then
That's what she said.
Sorry.
So and then last night's game against Seattle, there were a lot of competing events. Who all did anyone go? Haas, I think you ended up having a change of plans. You didn't make it.
Did not make it to the game.
Mort, were you there?
Yeah, I went. So yeah, I was a little busier getting in. I like you said, there was events pretty much all over the place, but we come back to that. But yeah, it was a good, cool night in Columbus.
Weather was perfect.
Yeah, it was nice.
And
Yeah.
no hydration breaks. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get through this one quick. It was odd and painful, and we'll discuss all of that after we review
weird.
it. But let's start with Trey.
Hey, what happened?
Facts that could save your life.
Saturday, September 7th, in the friendly confines of Lower.com, the Crew faced off against the Seattle Sounders in front of a reported 20,523 loyal Crew fans.
No Weezer fans.
Nope.
No.
I mean, multiple things going on in Columbus. You had the Buckeyes kicking off at 7 p.m., and then at Nationwide Arena, you had Weezer, Dinosaur Jr., and the Flaming Lips.
That's a lineup. I got like 100,000 texts like, are you there?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm in a Weezer cover band.
So
I'm not there.
So a reported 20,523 was probably closer to 17, 18,000.
Still.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty impressive still.
I mean, yeah. So this performance was not what we're used to seeing, though, from the home team for a number of reasons. The Crew only had the advantage in 3 meaningful statistical categories. Possession with the 54-46 advantage.
We had
Accurate
possession.
passes,
Oh my God.
89 to 88%. And corners with the Crew earning 5 to the Sounders 3.
Why
And,
most
of course-
obscure starting goalkeeper?
Right. And of course, the all-important feels like stat went in favor of Seattle with an XG of 1.96 to 0.37 for the Crew.
Yeah.
But I think the most important number in this game was actually 5, which just so happens to be the number of players the Crew were missing due to international duty. Oz, give us those lineups.
The Crew started with Chambeau, Jackson, Rossi up front, Arston, Nagby, Matan, and Herrera across the middle, Chaberco, Camacho, Zawadski in the back with Romero in goal.
Cool.
Romero.
Yeah.
It wasn't a number 6.
Yeah, I thought it was
Well,
more.
players
Well, I think it was
missing?
like. Yeah, I don't think that was
Cucho,
Maybe 5
Farsi,
starters.
Hagen, Russell
Morero.
Rowe.
Oh, no, if you can't count Hagen and
Russell
Schultz
Rowe
as starters. Yeah.
and 2 goalies. That's 6.
Yeah.
There one was added later. Yeah, and then Romero, who I don't know how long has he been in our employ?
A month?
80
Month and a
hours.
half?
Maybe.
Was it that
yeah.
long?
Yeah. They picked him up in the July window.
Okay.
Specifically for this. They knew this was
Right.
coming.
Yeah.
Formerly played for LAFC and Pachuca. Long play Pachuca.
Whoa, long play Pachuca. Wow.
It's like-
He was also
as
in
if-
the kitchen
As
at
if
the hotel.
mass poisoning wasn't enough.
Chef Romero strikes again.
So, 29th minute, Pedro de la Vega for Seattle with the yellow card after a stomp on the foot of Zawadzki. And then in the 45th minute, the before-mentioned Abraham Romero loses his mind and earns a straight red for his bunny ears challenge on Jordan Morris.
Dishonest Abe. That's what we call him.
Yeah.
It's too long. We got to hash it out. We'll talk about it later.
So a minute later, plus all the stoppage time because Jordan had to get all the concussion stuff. And Haas, tell us about it.
45 plus 6, resulting free kick from the red card offense, originally a yellow card. Rusnak takes it with his right from just outside the arc, strikes it, driven and to the left of the wall, past a diving Zawadzki.
I did not mention after the red card, Zawadzki then took up the goalkeeper position and subsequently had one put past
What?
him immediately.
Why?
Yeah. Not his fault. It is what it is.
It had to be him.
So Crew goes into half down 0-1.
That's a topic. That's a
Yeah.
topic.
So we're down 0-1 at half. Coming out of halftime, you got DeJuan Jones comes in for AZ. And then in the 60th minute, Haas, tell us about Seattle.
Sounders play out of the back and find Morris wide open in the middle of the field. He turns and runs down the center of the pitch with Chambeau in tow, but looks like he's jogging behind him. Morris lays a pass off to his left to Rothrock just outside the box. Morris continues his run into the box. Rothrock plays it back to him as he gets around a sliding Camacho, and Morris taps it past a charging Zawadzki. Zawadzki was an inch from saving that one.
It was a good pass. The pass into the box was good. We should have done better. We should have been tighter.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a good
down
pass.
man. We're also down a man.
Yeah, all of this is asterisks. Everything
Bunny
we
ears.
say from here on out for the rest of our lives is asterisks.
So,
That was actually right after period, kind of a good period for us in the second half.
Yeah, we started
That's
out
the
well.
Funny thing too, the crowd started getting into it.
65th, you had Christian Ramirez come in for Shambost. 2 minutes later, Haas, tell us about Seattle.
Rusnak gets his second. Seattle gets by Chiberko and brings the ball forward into the attack. They then get by Matan, Ramirez, and Nagbe all at the same time and passes wide right to Atencio. He passes across the top of the box to Rusnak, who takes a couple of touches as Herrera doesn't step to him quick enough. He shoots low and a low bouncing shot that gets past a diving Zawadzki.
I think it megged one of our players too. They had a behind
It
the
did.
goal thing. So
It ended up going through Herrera's legs.
I would argue if we had a keeper, they
Is this
would
the one that they
probably
reviewed to see if Jordan
say that.
Morris was in the play?
Yeah, like obstruction.
Yeah.
I am okay with them not calling it because it wasn't. We were also obstructing.
In this game, I'm not going to
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
I would just also like to shout out Haas real quick because as painful as it is to sit here and listen to all of this again, he had to write all of this. So
Yeah, and he asked us like, should I do the goals? And I said, no, dude, don't worry about it. And you're like, did it anyway. It's like,
I already
All
did
right,
it.
dog.
It was
Teacher's
painful,
pet.
Speaking of pain and suffering,
SM.
3
SM
minutes
guy.
later in the 70th, Haas tell us about Seattle.
Rusnak with the hat trick. Arfston attempts a pass through the center of the field that's picked off easily by Atencio. He touches it to Roldan in the center of the circle, who passes wide left to Morris. He takes a couple of dribbles forward, drives a pass into the box to Rusnak, who immediately shoots with his right. 4-0.
It's kind of a good take. It was. I think the defense was. Who was guarding him? Was it Camacho again?
I think
Or
so.
no, it was Traburco. It was Traburco.
Was it?
Because I watched it back and I was like, man, he should have done better.
Camacho had a really bad rating on FOBMOB.
Yeah, but I would argue that Chiba did not do well.
He's the one who got beat for the third goal. The first thing that led to that goal happening.
Yeah.
Chiberko.
Yeah. 75th, you had Derek Jones come in for Matan and Yeboah in for Arfston. Didn't make a bit of a difference, so this one ends in favor of Seattle 0-4 and snaps an unbeaten 8-game streak for the Crew. Columbus remains in third in the East on 49 points behind Cincinnati and Miami.
Right.
Who did not play this week?
We also forgot Amundsen was out on yellow card accumulation, so that was 7 players.
People missing.
Yeah.
I never saw the fourth goal. I left when the third one went in. And I would also argue when the second one went in there, when we turned it over, we had a chance to take a foul in the transition, and we did not do it. We did not take down the guy, and that kind of ruined the game. I mean, the funny thing is, when we came in the second half, I kind of felt, we're going to go do this. This is how we are with this team now.
Dude, that's the
When
first thing
we
I
started
thought,
second half, I was like, this is weird. I think we might pull this off.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Zawatsky changing to put it on, I was like, we're going to win this game, and it's going to go down in history. And then after the second goal, I was like, no, this makes sense. Yeah, this is actually probably, this is exactly what should have happened.
This is the life that everyone else is living.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. You wake
Savatsky,
up,
by the way, looked like-
and we actually just, it's to the end of the Eastern Conference Final and we lost to Cincinnati because teams don't
Savatsky looks
actually
like
do
one of
what
those
our
kids.
team does.
He looks like one of those kids that was wearing a way too big jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He looked tiny in goal.
Yeah.
Like, once he stood in
He
goal, I
really
was
did.
like, Haas said it the first thing. He's like, wow, he looks tiny in that goal. And I was like, yeah, I guess he does.
I thought he was taller, and there's audio proof that I think we've had this debate before. I thought he was like 6'5", and he's not.
He's
6 foot.
He's 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah,
On a
we
good
talked
day.
about. I mean, this same conversation happened.
Schulte's 6'4".
Let's do the Cirque stat. As long as we're talking about Sean, the first one that he sent was with 2 saves. Sean Zawatsky has tied Eddie Gavin's single game / career record for saves by a Crew 96 field player. And then later he said, did he get credit for a third save at the end? If so, new Crew 96 record.
They're saying
he
he
get
didn't
credit?
get credit, but he ran out and he saved it with his foot. I mean, he put the pressure on and made a save, but I guess it didn't count officially as a save.
It's going to be a shame if I don't start seeing a Zawatsky goalie jersey being worn by people around the stadium. Like,
It's
I'm
all
sure.
over,
it's
it's all
people-
over Reddit right now.
did
Everyone's
people
looking
have
for a red
Gavin?
jersey?
Yeah. Did people have Gavin on the back of their, like Eddie's thing on the back of a goalkeeper jersey back in the day?
I don't recall that.
I don't
remember
recall
that
it either.
game.
Did he? I would like to look back at that game. I don't even know. Did he change shirts?
He had to.
He went skins.
No, I feel like he might have had like a penny on or something.
Like a pickup
No.
game.
Yeah, he had a shirt
Maybe.
on.
No, he had the
Hey.
the white Hasbro
It's like
type
silver
jersey
or
on.
whatever. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit more about the game? Because I want to go back to
No.
the first half.
No.
because-
We're gonna break
Nope.
and then we're gonna talk about it.
I will say before we break, I tried so hard not to get triggered by looking at the internet. I'm like, not today, Satan. But I did look, and there was a Seattle fan that tweeted out like, "We did it first," and it was, white shirt. He said, "We did it first," and it's like one of their player. It was like Roldan's brother playing keeper, and it was in a random game in the 93rd minute when there was a red card after they were up like a bunch, and I was like it's not the same thing, you turd. Oh, Seattle.
Also not before Gavin.
Yeah, and we were like, also, you weren't the first.
They didn't even exist.
That's what we said. Also, does it drive anybody else nuts that their badge has like, 1974 in it? But I'm like, the league...
They were an NASL team.
But are we doing that? Is that okay to do? The league started in 96.
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah. I'm not.
Why?
Nope.
Why would you not be?
Not the team.
Yes, it is. It's the same team.
So in 96, how was the Seattle Sounders?
They were an ASL team.
Oh, so they weren't a team yet. Got it.
No, they were literally a team. It never went away. It never changed. It's like Portland.
Are we keeping the Zogs? Should we go like Crew 93?
That's different. A different name, different ownership, and they were never in ASL.
We have a different ownership now.
But it's an asset. Like, even if the owner's different, I'm not taking a side here because...
You should, because what Ben is saying is ridiculous.
Just saying, like, even if the owner changed, the asset still exists, right?
Right.
It's like how the
So United had changed owners, so you're saying they didn't start in the, like, 1880s or 90s, whatever it was, because they changed owners? No.
If you weren't in the team in 96...
And have they been down from the Premier League? Yes, so, like, they have been in the lower league.
Look at, like, American football. We've got Super Bowl, whatever, 50-something.
LIX, Licks. Can we talk about...
Don't compare anything to American football.
No, but I guess what I'm asking is, like, there was some pre-consolidated era, right? And, like, I think the NFL headquarters even used to be in Columbus.
Well, it's like the AFC and NFC were two separate leagues.
Yeah.
Before the merger.
So then are those teams, if the team before the merger, they didn't all get founded the year of the merger, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The Packers are old as shit.
Moral of the story is Ben's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can
It feels wrong. The XG feels
the expected age of Sounders is much less than, whatever.
MLS age.
Okay.
Years.
I will agree with you on this fact that if they tried to claim they are the oldest club in MLS, I would argue it because the league was formed in 96.
And they weren't in MLS.
Correct.
Yeah. What a weird thing to say. We got to go to break. We'll be right back.
Hello, Adam Hernandez here, fellow crew fan and Columbus-based artist, muralist, and designer. When I'm not making art, I'm looking at art. And when I'm looking at art, I want it to come to life. That's why I made my new augmented reality prints. What's an augmented reality print, you may ask? Well, I make my really cool psychedelic art come to life in the palm of your hand. Check out my website, ahernandezart.com, or at ahernandezart to learn more. They're really rad. ahernandezart.
All right, we're back. Go ahead, Trey.
Oh, this sucks.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
All right.
Oh no!
So during the break,
we are going to fact check ourselves. So the original NASL team,
we just say the things.
For Seattle was around 74 to 1983. 1983 to 94, they were not around. They came back as a USL First Division team from 1994 to 2008, and then they entered MLS. So the team was formed in 1974, but disbanded in 1983, and then came back in 94.
So do we have a Columbus Bushwhacker team in the 1870s that we can claim?
They should have a 1994 on their
sounds like they're taking more of like a...
It's Liberties.
Hindu approach, I think reincarnation kind of.
Listen,
I think they should have asterisks. They should have asterisks on their logo.
Yeah. That's what
maybe there is. Maybe they hid one like at the top of the Space Needle or something.
Yeah. Damn space.
Which is an alien spaceship. Can we all agree on that? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Men in Black.
Okay, we can't.
Is that Men in Black?
I tried to end this. Let's get into thoughts and players.
Thoughts and players.
Okay, so let's more. You said you wanted to talk about the first half.
Yep. So this game started like a lot of the games. First of all, again, they selected to play the other way. That's one thing that has happened a lot lately. The other team wants to play into the Nordic here. which we don't really. Is usually the other way around.
For the first time.
And again, But one thing in the first half was total domination without any purpose. We didn't seem to create anything, but we dominated play.
Yeah, agreed.
But another thing that I reacted to was I'm looking at the stats. Seattle had 2 fouls in the first half, and they were like late on everything. Their forwards always running into the defender, not even looking at the ball when they played like the long ball off the back.
Right.
And the refereeing there and not protecting our players at all was ridiculous. I can't tell you how many times Nagby hit the floor in the first half. No free kick. Wave it on, like get up and whatever else. So that was one thing that I kind of reacted to. They were more fired up than we were. And then I don't know if we want to get into specific players yet, but there was also some performances that probably not up to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think we should quickly go over that before we like headlong into some of the like elephants in the room.
Yep.
Totally right against the possession. I think Matan actually played pretty well in the middle with Nagby. It's that different type of possession, but I thought he was good on the ball. I thought Nagby was good on the ball. I thought Rossi actually had an all right game. I think him up there with Jackson and Shambo, we created nothing. We had 10 shots, 1 on goal for the entire game. That first half, there is a huge disconnect.
5 shots, 0 on target first half.
Yeah, I know. And I think most of those were outside the 18. I know one was Jackson that was way over. And then there was another one that was, I can't remember who it was. Maybe Herrera. That was also over. And I'm like, guys, those were like MLS 1.0 shots back in the day where it's just like blasting it for no reason.
I would say the one from AZ, he tries some kind of cheeky little juggle back and then he kind of rifles it a little bit wild. It's one of those, if it actually goes in, it's like goal of the year kind of candidate. But again,
spoiler, it was not.
Adirondack.
Yeah,
I said that a couple times.
We had this discussion before about new players. We talked about Chaburko coming in early last year and had one game and he looked horrible and we didn't play him for like the longest time. And now I will say this is a player that I really trust. And he actually in first half, you talked about earlier that he didn't play, maybe had some issues in second half. First half, he covered Morris actually pretty well in the space. That's why he played centrally in the defense. And Camacho was pushed on the right back. And not playing centrally like he normally plays.
Oh, interesting.
Just because he can match the speed with Morris. But offensively, man, AC is kind of jogging around. Chamois, as we call him, Shambo. I can't even remember seeing him.
I remember seeing him jogging behind them as they went and scored a goal.
Yeah, I don't think he's quick or fast. And I think AZ is well, it's just I don't think AZ is like fast, but I think he's quick. Like first 5 yards. But like in a foot race, he I don't think he would. I think people catch up to him. But Shambo, I think he feels a lot of like what Matan does. Get like more of a playmaker, more of a 10. Like he's not a that's what he played for when he played in Paris at the end. Yeah. So with him and Matan in, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And I thought Matan stood out way more. I hear what you're saying about AZ. I think he actually has a higher ceiling. I think he's better. He does a lot of the things that Hinostroza does, but I think he does them better, and I think he's better on the ball. I did think he struggled. I think he hustled a lot more. I mean, at one point I pointed out to Haas, I'm like, yeah, look, Nancy like picked him up and patted him like he tracked back on another guy and like I thought he played well.
I'm sorry, who?
Hinostroza.
He plays a lot now, so that's probably not a good person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's who people are comparing him to because he has the same qualities: quick, fast.
Well, no, he was picked up. From what I understand, was like people were saying that AZ was picked up almost to replace Matan that's running out of his contract, and there's no way in hell
those are apples and oranges,
over
man.
Matan. The other thing is starting with the lineup we did. I think he kind of kept some of the guys to not play all of his cards, right? He can see how long he can, kind of what we did in Philly, play our hand as long as we can, keep Christian Ramirez on the bench, and also Jones coming in also second half, because I was kind of surprised playing AZ and
why wouldn't you start
Shamwa again,
Dwan
because
Jones?
They have not played well together.
Yeah, Dwan. So I am still bummed about Herrera. I did not think he's not fast. I didn't think he was that good on the ball. He was a liability
in the last game than this one.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
And he did not. There was so many times Zawadzki or Camacho was like stuck kind of in the. We couldn't play out of the back sometimes. He didn't come back to be that option to play out of.
Yeah,
So we had some problems getting out the back a couple of times, and one part of that was him not coming back, being the outlet. And he was hanging very high for being a crew winger.
Yeah, I think he
the same
did
kind of work you see with Farsi. Right?
Second half when we went to like 4 in the back, which is pretty much what we did, where Herrera dropped back, I thought he played better. And I'm like, cool. He's definitely more of a right fullback because that's what he played at River Plate. But we need him to be a wing back, and that is a different skill set. I don't think anything moving forward or spacing is in his realm. It doesn't mean he's not going to get there, but right now it's like, pretty bad.
You know what? Camacho got a 4.7, but Romero got a 5.3.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, okay, that's how it happened.
Camacho had more time to lose points. You know, the other issue with Zawadzki having to go to goal is that he's not on the field.
He was absolutely the best player on the field the first half.
Yeah.
There's nothing. He was the best player. Period. He made everybody else look stupid. He was so good.
So let's. I want to talk about Zawadzki. They were talking about this scenario at the beginning of the game on the broadcast about how Romero was on the team because of the international call-ups.
Did you guys catch it before?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because so did Haas and I. I was charging my phone, so I wasn't like text monster for the first half, but I was like,
what do you mean catch it before?
Like we didn't have a backup goalie on the bench.
They said it. Yeah, so they said it on the broadcast. They talked about it. They said something like I
was not aware of it.
A big thing missing from Columbus's game plan is a backup goalkeeper because XYZ, and they like laid out the scenario.
Let's lay out that scenario.
Because they did that, we were talking about it, and at my house, we were talking about like, okay, so who would you call in for goalkeeper? And I said Zawadzki first, obviously because he's 6'5", but
6'5", 380.
Yeah. Secondly, because he has shown the ability to play any position, just like be a Renaissance man and like step in.
Yeah, 100%.
Know how to do it. But learning now that he's not as tall as I thought he was, and seeing that
he's not as good as he's in every other position.
Seeing that, I mean, look, I don't know. And maybe every player out there would have not gotten 2 saves. And he got 2, and he's the best man for the job. Who knows? But I guess my question is, would you guys have put Sean in, or would you have put someone else in? And who would it be?
In retrospect?
Or not. I mean, I was just thinking.
In retrospect, I would have put Matane.
I would have put. Yeah, I would have put.
Well, what about Derek Jones?
Yeah, I was thinking about Derek Jones. Derek Jones is massive.
I do too.
It doesn't seem aggressive, but I don't know if that matters.
I feel like immediately I was like,
you also waste a sub
and a player on the field. I mean,
we needed him in the middle.
Oh yeah, because you'd have to take somebody off,
yeah.
Right? When you send him in. And
that's a good point, actually. The fact that we took him out in the midfield and we didn't put like a Derek Jones in there or anything like that.
Well, we took him out of the midfield to play defense, and then we took him to play right back or center back or, however they were moving around with Zawadzki, and then to start the game, and then we move him to goalie. It's like
I was kind of thinking Morera would have been a good pick.
Wasn't there?
Yeah,
but he wasn't there,
right?
People were talking about this after the game, walking out. We were talking about like who else, and I was kind of going through it, and I can't really think of one that's like pops out that's like, oh yeah, that would be a good goalie. The only other one that I might have thought about was maybe Ramirez, but not sure.
He wasn't even on the field at the time, so
yeah.
No, I mean, but playing as a goalie.
Players on the field. I mean, Zawadzki was the choice.
Yeah,
I mean. Maybe probably one of the other defenders, but then you're losing another defender.
Camacho, maybe. Camacho, maybe.
Yeah, but then you're like, what else are you going to do? I mean, Zawadzki could fill in back there.
He's
Camacho
the pick,
just seems too slow for me to be a.
He's the pick. Zawatsky.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, either
Um,
way, the crew was put into a bad situation by MLS.
Yeah, all right. So let's talk about that. What there was some discourse online. Was it a red card? Because I was trying to justify that it wasn't a red card in the text messages, and it comes to finds out that it was a red card, right?
I think so.
Yeah, oh
The
boy.
only question was Morris offside?
he was
No, he wasn't.
He was not.
I went back and
He
looked at
wasn't?
it.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Well, and Zawatsky gets to the ball first,
Correct.
which kind of
That's-
creates.
He should
the
have gotten
awkward
a red
collision.
card. He should have gotten a red card against both teams.
Yeah.
He laid out the Seattle player, and then he got an elbow off on our guy too. So
How do you think he feels today? By the way?
he doesn't care. He's the Manchurian candidate from Pachuca. He's done his job, and he's counting his
Great
millions.
success.
I'll give you a hint. He's a million. Yeah, he's a millionaire on a ship back to Pachuk's. Real dingbat of a guy. No, he jumps like to the right of them,
It's,
but uses both of his hands to WWE. Like, what's that? The people's elbow. Morris.
why is he out there?
Don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Like, was he
that's the bigger
trying to?
question.
Is he trying to like? I mean, all I could think of is this: he's before being a crew player, he's a LAFC2 player.
okay.
You're not gonna get a first team look. Like, he sat on the bench for LAFC for a while. Like, I need to sizzle tonight. Like,
he had a good
right?
save in the first
He
half.
did.
Like,
He had a good
this
one.
is, I mean, if you're a professional athlete, think about it, man. These kids start when they're young.
I think
you know,
about
you
being a
get
professional athlete every day of my
get-
life.
You get these opportunities. It's an opportunity for him to like raise his stock.
Yeah, he kicked a
But
football over
what
that
is
mountain.
his plan in that situation?
Dude, I
is he
have-
going for it with his head?
Yeah, he jumped.
That's his only option at that point.
100%.
He can't stick his hands out.
He jumped up and he's like, "Oh crap! I can't use my hands. I better put them in the necks of these people."
Yeah.
And he just like whacks them, and then he just like goes.
If I can't take care of the ball, I'll take care of
It
every
was-
other living
I think
thing.
the hands out was to protect himself and his own body for what he committed to that he shouldn't have committed to.
It was crazy. And so like originally I was like, well, it wasn't like he was in on goal because Zawatsky got a touch. It's an obvious yellow. But I'm thinking if the tables were turned, if we had turntables and it happened to us, I would be furious if the other teams didn't get a red card. It would
Didn't get a red.
Yeah, I was just like, as soon as I thought about that, I'm like, dude, if like Freeze or Fry or whoever they had in the, any of these guys came out and took out our guy, I'd be like, that's a clear and obvious like red card. It had to have been. So I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. Like, whatever. But we should go over. Does anybody want to read or have up like the reason why we didn't have another goalie? Because again, reading the internet with these absolute idiots, we're like, well, it's Columbus's fault. And it's like, listen, guy.
Yeah, that's on
It
the internet.
wasn't.
Before we start reading the internet, I do have just one more player I want to talk about. And this may be a short discussion, but it is an open question to the listeners. If Steve Cirque ever hears this, with Cucho missing, I was thinking just about how successful we've been, and I started thinking about how many games we've won without him, and specifically how many of his goal contributions led to a result-changing goal. And I'm just putting that out there. I mean, his presence was clearly missed. You saw it in the Philly game, right? I mean, what happened in Philly was we did this game's game plan, which was use a set of non-traditional starters to hold off the team for a certain amount of time and then bring in cavalry. And in that case, it was, Cucho was among those that came in, and we won that game 1-0. How many games have we won without him?
I mean, that's a good question. The thing is, though, he was on timeout for a while, and also for C3, and we did win, but that was with a different. I think if he starts and it's him, Rossi, and plug in the blank, I mean, Ramirez would have been the best, but if it was like AZ or Shambo, I think we get a goal in that first 30 minutes. We were pressing, we had the ball, we didn't have anything in that final third. I think he unlocks their mid block.
And he didn't even make the bench of his call up.
Yeah.
Because they called up 27 players instead of 26.
This starts from the very back. Yeah, but you have to start from the very back, and we're missing number 1. We're missing number 2. Like, that affects the play out, and we struggled from the play out. Then you have to move some guys around in the back. So everything gets imbalanced from the back and forward. And I think not missing Cucho for Colombia, I still think we would have won this game if you have like a normal lineup minus Cucho. So it's the sum of all. I still think, Cucho is extremely important from us.
That's my question.
Yeah, he's extremely important, and he has been a big part of that. But I think some of this team is better. I think he's a difference maker, but I also think he's become even better under this system.
Yeah, Moreira and Farsi on the right side.
Wasn't there a CCC game where Morris scored, or maybe even scored twice when Cucho was out on a red card from the previous game?
Yeah. But even taking Savatsky down out of the midfield, we have to put him in the back. Right? We know Matan
plays well, but he's different.
Yeah, but he's more of something we can put in the end, or if you need a little bit more offensively or something like this. That's one of the pieces you can change. It's not a pieces you start with. So already, like, change up in the back tolerated. Midfield is not balanced. And the front is not even, it's one guy. And you can see Rossi wasn't thriving out there. He was having one of the worst games I've seen him play in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, Cucho is a difference maker. He can be this difference maker, but this team is still capable of beating pretty much anyone in this area, region or league or whatever else with everybody else. So it's the sum of all everybody we're missing that is really that.
Rossi missed his buddies.
Okay. Well, so hopefully he should be coming back rested.
Well, continuing on Cucho, maybe not. He's called up to Colombia. They play on Tuesday against Argentina, and they had a player that had to leave the squad. So that means he's guaranteed to at least make the bench because now he's in the 26. Yeri Mina is out for Colombia, and I think he plays a wing position. So that even opens up the potential for Cucho to get some minutes on Tuesday.
Speaking about Cucho, I don't know if anybody else saw it. Did you see somebody published that we have set a price for Cucho?
It's not real.
It's not real?
No, they said 22 million, but they said, who was it? Somebody came out and said they'd give 22 million and we denied it. It was some like
Saudi club or something.
Silly, it's made up.
Okay.
I mean, if we're not going to deal Rossi, why would we be dealing Cucho before the end of the season?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
They were like, we put a price tag for 22 million, and this club was like, we'll do it. And they're like, psych. Like, yeah, that's not a thing.
All right.
Okay. So let's jump back to the goalkeeper kind of context when we read the internet.
You got mail.
So, from Tom Bogert, why the Columbus Crew had no goalkeeper on the bench and turned to midfielder Sean Zawatsky. Red Bull New York called up left back Omar Valencia 7 times this season, more than the max 4, according to Tom T. posting Dose. Unclear if MLS granted New York Red Bull extreme hardship exemption, but the Crew were denied. Follows up with the additional 3 call-ups for Valencia did come as Olympic replacement exceptions, as John Tolkien was at the Olympics, not extreme hardship. Would make sense to me that should have been extended for the international breaks like this one for all teams, but it wasn't. The friendly versus Aston Villa, 4th of Lapkus short-term call-ups, came during the Olympics.
That's the Crew 2 keeper, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
We called him up 4 times.
Yep, from MLS Next Pro.
One of them being the Aston Villa friendly.
Which friendly game
shouldn't count for anything.
Right.
But
Yep,
okay.
Which came during the Olympics. The crew were without Patrick Schulte because he was at the Olympics with the U23 squad.
So same thing that Red Bull had.
And Bush was injured, so we didn't really have a third option or another option other than Hagen.
And he continues with, they still don't know why it counted at all, but definitely don't know why it wasn't Olympic exemption, so unnecessarily convoluted.
Yeah, so bullshit is what it was.
Yeah.
I mean that
Well, so what's not stated there is that the crew asked for an exception we would have had Lapkus in goal, not had to hire Romero if the exception would have been granted for this one game that we've been tracking that we knew we were going to need help for because of these international call-ups.
We would have had
But
Romero either way. It's just that we would have had a goalie on the bench to back him up.
Yeah, but the
Okay,
insanity
gotcha,
here,
yeah.
the insanity here is they put a set number for all MLS team applying to all competitions.
And-
So it's locked in. It's kind of a locked in thing, as far as I understand it. It's kind of locked in, right?
Well, and that's
and
via
also
the MLSPA. Like that's the players. That is them protecting the players so that the players don't get abused and called up and not get.
That
paid.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Sure.
but
Also this game, as you know, when I went to look and see how this loss was going to impact our standings next to Cincinnati and Miami, and I saw that they didn't play. This was a makeup game from when we were playing CCC late into that tournament. We never should have been playing this. This game was not regularly scheduled.
correct.
In the first place.
Yeah, we're being punished for winning and going further, which is ridiculous. So they said that you can have 4 call-ups for somebody, blah, 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 blah. There is exceptions. What they're saying, what Tom was saying is the exceptions are underneath this thing called extreme hardships. Red Bull didn't have extreme hardships, but he still got called up 7 times. But we were denied when we asked, which is crap. And one of those was Lapkus coming up for Aston Villa, which is crap. And C3 requires you to have 3 goalkeepers on the bench, and that's crap. Because it's not, I mean, C3 is not MLS. So, like, we had to have Lapkus.
3
2
total,
on the bench, 3 total, right?
Yeah. So, so that's crap. And then we asked for a call up for all that stuff. It was denied. So MLS was like, sorry, bro.
And add to that, okay, I know we've kind of preached getting the anger out and all that, but we have now played 39 games. 39 games. So the good example here is a New York Red Bull, a competitive team that went a little bit deeper in the Nations League too. They have played 30 games. We have played 30% more games than Red Bull. And we don't get any breaks or any additional number of people we can call up or anything like that. It's freaking mind-blowing.
Well, that and it's an international FIFA window. Everybody else in the world stops because we did a cash grab Leagues Cup, which again, thanks for the cash, won it.
And the cup.
But like, because we did that and took a month off, we can't quote unquote afford to take this weekend off. So the crew gets screwed again. And for it, it just, well, go ahead, Mark.
Well, so I missed last week's podcast because I actually had this point before we even went into this window, looking at who's playing and who's not playing. Nobody else around except for I think LAFC did play. We're not playing, and in the East, we're not playing. That is around us. We're talking about the Miami, Cincinnati. That means that they have good teams where they have players that are getting called up and would be away in this equivalent round. But we get penalized for having good players that have performed well for the team and go to the national team. So in the same round as they were playing, we're playing without those players. So we get a big handicap in this round compared to our competitors.
So,
which is ridiculous.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. We knew the rules. We knew what we could and couldn't do. We knew going into this game that we had 1 goalkeeper on the roster. What in the world was Romero doing? You would think that the coaches would have told him.
You're starting with a yellow card.
Right. you absolutely can do nothing. You have to finish this game. You have to, whatever you do, you
which is
have to
pretty
finish the
easy.
game. It should be. I agree.
No, but you're playing devil's advocate, and I'm saying the fact that you buy a goalie that is not up to the level, have to start him in a pressure game with people in a,
which is
big
fine
crowd
if he
and
would have
everything.
lashed out at somebody and kicked him or done something or lit 3 goals in because he wasn't up to the level. He was 25 yards out from the goal doing.
Yeah, that's apples and oranges.
That's what happens when you have your fourth goalie playing. He makes dumb decisions. And that's the problem, right? In the first place, this is our fourth goalie.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'll jump over with Trey here and say, then why did they hire him? Like, what about him? What about him made him worth being the only keeper that we were going to have?
He was available.
First available.
I mean, could we have gotten rid of? Could we have ended Bush's contract and been like, we're done?
No.
Yeah. So that's
right. I know we don't do that, but that's what put us in this situation. Is
exactly.
Bush's
So he's the fourth,
injury after being injured,
and they're saying you should have signed a fifth. 5 goalkeepers on a 30 roster league. Get out of my face. Like that means we have.
That's like your fantasy team, Ben. Did you have like 3 kickers?
I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, yeah. Full disclosure, I was just like, I'm gonna have so many kickers on my team and tight ends. Like, I want to be dope as crap, and I'm gonna win all these fantasy points. Turns out,
tight ends sound good.
It's a bad call. Yeah, I had 3 kickers on my team.
Who
Everyone's
wants
like,
to
what are you
trade?
doing? Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, I'm trading everybody. I did a bad job. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's like, well, you knew it. But and the other thing was after the game. Nancy addressed this, which we're going to talk about, but he said prior to this, he's like, I had this written out before the game started. I'm not happy about this because it doesn't make sense. He's like, I understand the rule, but again, if you're saying you can only call up 4 times and you make me do it for Aston Villa and you make me do it for C3, these aren't even MLS thing. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it just
0 minutes between all those call-ups.
Correct.
I'm losing my words.
Yeah.
In English. What do you say? Horse cock. Yeah, look that up.
I don't know if I should
2
beep
O's.
that or not.
COOK. Yes.
I feel like on some level. Okay, well, so let's jump to that. We'll take a break. We can keep reading the internet because it's vast and broad and deep. The internet I'm talking about. Let's
prove it.
Let's talk about the Nancy comments. Before I mention what he said, I will just say that he was wearing a sport coat that had the branded hexagonal black and gold,
the target
as
black
a
and
liner.
Gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sharp.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's from Pursuit. Is that Pursuit suit?
Sassy liner. And he had some sassy lines, not least of which was that it's fucking difficult to be a professional footballer. And
no, he didn't say that. He said, "Hey, to become a professional player." Sorry, my language, but is it fucking difficult?
Thank you. That was good.
That
was good.
Sorry.
He was making the points that we've been talking about here. Is that that it seems like not only were the rules making staffing this game exceptionally difficult, that the circumstances should have led the league to make an exception, and they did not. And so he was frustrated before the game, and the result, exacerbated that issue. So I saw elsewhere in the MLS Columbus Crew head coach on your resume realm, I saw terms like joke game, clown show mentioned. Same could apply, and I wonder if there was not some frustration vibes coming from Caleb Porter for our situation.
He said something that I always say when I'm like at a loss. He goes, "What is happening?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I feel that." So as soon
Caleb
as
Porter, I brought that up just because Caleb Porter and Nazi were having
Rant sessions.
frustration
Great
sessions with the media on the same day, and it was like, it was just our guys just getting the thoughts out there.
Porter was right though. It was a handball.
Love hearing Caleb call the game a clown show.
Yeah, it was a handball.
Porter
he
at
was
least
right.
took a couple questions. Nancy just posted up, said what he had to say, and peaced out.
But you know what? It's interesting to see him that way, but it's really interesting because he got really passionate, but he almost got passionate on the terms of the player.
Yeah, he did.
You know, he took the player's perspective and he said, it's not right for me to take in a kid that is not ready and hasn't deserved to be in the locker room and bring him up, and it's sending the wrong signals
and give him
to
money.
players.
He also mentioned
and
money.
giving him money that he doesn't deserve and not ready for. 80, like you can say, he was saying throwing like $80,000. It doesn't, it's not like, it's not Kucha money, but for a 18-year-old kid,
well,
he
related it
that's
to
a lot of money.
himself and how that happened to him.
He was 18 as a
it didn't work well.
18 as a professional, and he's like, I lasted until 22, and he's like, I had the money, and then all of a sudden I didn't. He's like, we pay you $80,000, which seems like a lot to you at the time, but then in a couple of years when you're not ready and you don't progress, you lose that money. He's like, it just wasn't time for us to sign Lapkiss, a fifth goalkeeper, and I'm like, weird.
Well, and it's we have talked about this before, maybe even just within the context of the crew too, just in general. Like, you've got not a set, but a kind of understood time horizon on success, right? And like, if you're being brought in as the fifth goalkeeper on a 30-man roster for one game, I don't know that you're doing yourself a favor.
We're not doing him a favor, is what he was saying.
Exactly.
That's pretty much what he's saying, and it's the wrong message. He said, I already have a young team. We already do what the league wants to do. Like, we bring in young talent, we develop it, and we're playing. We have a very
third of
young squad.
A third of the starters are from the 22 Crew 2 championship team, or were, but...
and straight up, honestly,
God, I love that guy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is too, he didn't make excuses, but also he's like, I'm not saying we would have won this game, but it doesn't add up. It seems dishonest, I think, is what he said. He's like, I don't have a word for it, and he like said it in French, and then he was like dishonest, or it was dishonest, and it's like,
we'll have to trust the translator on that.
Well, he was dealing with it all.
He's
week.
Like, well, I can't say that out loud.
It wasn't a surprise come game time. Like they have been working on this. They brought Romero in a month and a half ago because they knew this was coming, and they've been dealing with this all week trying to get an exception, and the MLS refused.
Yeah. He had a good save. He actually played a couple balls. He played a line-splitting ball around like minute 31 or something like that through 4 lines all the way up to Rossi. I was like, okay, this guy's not bad. And I was like,
well, right before that, he had the big save on the shot to the upper 90. I mean,
Rothrock had it. It was nice. That was a good save.
He's good with his. Seemed to be pretty good with his feet. Nothing. But craziness comes out sometimes.
It's like,
but
it was.
But you know who loves this? It was probably Don Garber and the MLS
Don Garber,
Twitter
baby.
handle.
Oh yeah, they loved it. They were like, yeah, we love it. Although straight up though, again, I will reiterate what we said earlier. When Zawatsky was putting on the jersey, I was like, we are gonna win this game. 100%. And it wasn't until the second goal where I was like, 2 minutes later.
That speaks to that is like the fantasy success that our team has had, but also just how strong Zawatsky is and how lucky we are to have him on the team, and that we would believe in him no matter what he's doing.
And the crowd. Every time he made a save,
crowd was behind him 100%.
I remember that from the Gavin thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if a guy is going to step up, like you saw everybody on Seattle was high-fiving Zawatsky after the game. Like, it's like, dude, you did what few have done. And like, they had nothing but good vibes for him.
Yeah.
For stepping up and just taking the heat.
Yeah, and on all that, I think I posted on here reading the internet, MLS had two things. I only posted one. One said hat trick hero Albert Rusnek was on fire for the Sounders, and I'm like, you absolute asshats don't have what are you doing? And then there was another one
playing against 10 men and the backup to the backup to the backup keeper.
Yeah, and a guy who's just like
just a guy
who's never played goalie. You're the hero. And then they also the next day woke up, and I didn't clip this, but you can find it. Just go to @MLS. They put Rusnek's heroic hat trick, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's what you're tweeting and
it's
posting?
not heroic if the opponents don't put up a goal either. Right?
They weren't even really. I mean, everybody on the field knew the assignment. Like, Rusnek wasn't celebrating, taking off his pants and showing his butt to the crowd. Like, he was like, "Yeah, I get it. The guy that's a 20-year-old dude that's never played keeper. Like, this is like
it's
a pickup
winning
game.
A fight against a child. Like, you can't brag no matter how much you win.
Did you see what I did? Someone tweeted and Don's MLS admin is like, let's go, Rusnek's the champion.
His second goal,
idiots.
His second goal was, I'm shooting because I know I need to shoot on goal right now because this isn't a goalie.
Our co-ed keeper Snake saves that 90% of the time.
I would agree with that.
Oh, 100% he would say that.
The other ones, maybe not so much. But
it was bouncing and low, but that's how he got Zawadzki. He knew.
Next time we find ourselves in a situation like this, if we're looking at LAFC
he was probably there.
2, we could look at co-ed team Snake, goalkeeper.
Upper 90 Club team?
Yeah. Little on brand.
Okay, before we get to the end of the internet, we should break here. And we'll finish that. We'll do our Crew 2 update, and then we'll do our predictions. We'll be right back.
Caw, everybody. It's Ben. Bad news. Carlos is sick. He got the cold, the dreaded bird cold. So he did text me the lowdown on the Crew 2 game. So here's my best bird impression. I thought I would be feeling better this morning, but my cold is worse. I can barely talk. My throat is shot. Sorry, man. I got to skip this week. It's all good, dude. We love you. All right. Highlights were we could have tied in points for first place in the East with a win, but unfortunately we lost 2-1 away in Chattanooga. A couple guys who were on the bench for the first team on Saturday night, Rayo and Prestis, traveled and started. New signing Ibrahim Sai started for the first time at center back. He played really well. Another new signing, Amizian Saad Mohad, came in on the second half and had a dime of a cross for our goal, scored by, you guessed it, Prestis. Very excited about him. 4 games left in the season, 2 at home. Next one is heck is plausible, and it's a must win. Here he is signing out. He says, hey, remember, take your vitamins. Caca.
All right, thanks, Bird. Okay, we're back. And tough beats all around.
Tough
and sensual.
There's some internets left to cover. We talked about the Nancy suit on the Massive. Duda1 said, am I the only one who thinks we have weird games when Nancy wears a suit? It sounds like we don't do well when he dresses up. So keep it casual. Go to supportersupply.co and pick up your Hawaiian shirt, Mr. Nancy.
It's gotta be.
And ignore all the times he probably was dressed up and we dominated him.
Dude, literally I have a superstition where I don't wear crew stuff when I'm watching it at home. Like, I always wear crew stuff out, but not at home when I watch it. And I went upstairs, changed into this hoodie that I'm wearing, crew hoodie, walked downstairs. Not even 2 minutes later, it was a red card. And I was like,
it's your fault.
I know, dog.
Okay. I had my lucky shirt on, and when we lost, I finally washed it. Wow.
Also,
I wanted long since we washed something. Can't stop winning.
Speaking of apparel, Ramirez had Charlie Brown cleats, very sharp. The bald boy himself was featured on these boots. They had the squiggle. Anyway, we saw it.
Man,
on,
they're awesome. They're so awesome.
Major League Soccer posted it. I know Ramirez commented on it.
So Major League Soccer posted it in between all the Rusnak soft massages they were doing the past like 3 days.
Nutsack?
Yes. Yes.
That guy.
Yes. Proud of that one.
Also, we saw the Tifo for this game.
Absolute fire. Man, it looked good. It was big.
Yeah.
It was huge.
They worked, I think, more than a week on that.
Man.
You know what? The best thing was the wind kind of caught behind it too. So it was almost like a parachute kind of coming off. It was really nice.
4D. That's how Tifo sweat works.
We support Columbus, featuring the Progress Pride flag. Looked good.
Yeah, looks great.
With the
that shot of the team like
huddled up
in the
below
huddle.
it.
Yeah, sweet. Morgan posted.
It was originally the crew. I actually took a screenshot of it as well, and I was going to repost it. But yeah, it was originally from the crew. I think we talked about this prior, but like there should be a coffee table book that has just the Tifos.
100%.
Like crew the media team for the crew has been awesome at getting those shots. Like just give me like a 20-page book and I'll throw it on the pooper and just go through that stuff when I'm dropping deuces. You know what I mean?
I saw a bunch of comments saying not every Tifo deserves a T-shirt. However, a lot of people wanted this one. So,
actually, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, and then quick Run Club update. I think we're in the home stretch, if you will, of getting the jerseys hammered out. So maybe next week?
I think tomorrow, by the time I post this, it'll be Tuesday. I think it may be early. I think it might be tomorrow, Monday.
And I have officially signed up for the half.
I officially signed up too. And guess what? I'm injured. I want to run through it.
Let's run through it, dude.
I'm going to.
So if you want to run a marathon or
half marathon,
sit at a game in a Upper 90 Run Club race kit, they're going to be available soon.
We'll do more. We'll do more than this one. We'll start doing all the major like runs and stuff like that and hopping on it. We'll keep it going because it's been pretty positive. It's been growing. We want to get it to 900 a week. So how many miles did we get last week?
Okay, so last week we were at about half that, 435. Nelson in the lead with 51. I'm going to just kind of breeze through this. Ben, you won the group at 29. I'm going to mention myself because that's important. Hold on. No, this isn't right.
And before you do that, I want to do a shout out to the from the press because you mentioned that she was like half a mile short or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was really annoyed by that.
She heard that?
No.
She was a listener.
You made her.
No, she knew already she was just a little bit short from
100%.
So when you said it on the podcast, I played it back to her and she started cracking up.
Yeah. It's like, what was with that last 0.6 miles that was too intimidating for you? Yeah.
Where was I? 29 and what?
We took the kids up for like a short run. She said like, oh, that's fine. I'll have like 1 mile and I will hit 50. And then she did. And she was still like 0.4 short or something like that.
Okay. So it looks like whatever I had pulled up was actually, I don't know, it was old. We are doing way better than I said. So I don't know if you want to cut it or not, but we're actually at 558 for the week.
Wow.
Nelson at 66.
Wow.
I just got to read all this. Chris S at 60.4. Stacy's at 44.5. Francesca's over 40. Kaylin,
still running.
Greg, Priscilla, Kevin, all in the 30s. Nate in the 30s. Ben, you were
I missed today.
Short of a 30. But you know who's behind Ben? It's me. Just doing a little whisper
backstage.
There
I know.
Backstage whisper.
Ooh, that's an inside joke.
I got up to 25. I had some defense at home from my wife watching the kids, and I got another 6 in today and made it up to 25.
Oh,
so
amazing.
Also in
Wow,
the
you
top
guys are killing it.
13, Randolph and James. So keep running, guys. It's great to see all this. And then also I saw Jacob. I don't think he's on this list, but I saw Jacob put up a big run in Zanesville, the original home of Labor Day. So very festive.
And also run from everybody in Zanesville.
Yeah. Okay.
At all times.
Zanesville.
Sometimes
Okay.
I go home.
We've got a couple more things to cover. I think we can punch it out here. Before we get into predictions for Hell is Real, we did the Rob Thomas chant a couple weeks back. And we're still getting chants in. I think we're going to go through them. But before today's show, Trey said he had one he wanted to share. So I wanted to allow him to share that with us live here so we can react with everyone else. Take it away, Trey. Okay, so we've talked about chants in the past. We've got a few that we have gotten from listeners. We did the Rob Thomas one a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I know Trey and Ben have
collaborated
via osmosis, been working on
No!
chants together.
I had said this like
You did, but I
was like,
I
this
put the
song.
words
Trey,
together.
here's what happened.
Built it
Here's
out.
what-
I also
Ben and Trey,
put the words
Ben and Trey worked together.
I haven't seen it
And
yet.
Ben
or
has
heard it.
been begging for this to become a chant.
None of this is right.
And Trey has been saying that it's a bad idea. And now Trey came
I was
out
like,
and
have
said,
you heard of Chapel
many
Roan?
people have not thought of this. Many people have not heard this. I'd like to share my newest chant. It's going to be, quite frankly, many people are saying it's
The
going to be the
best
best chant. It's going to be the best chant. that,
Possibly the best ever.
So many people are saying it's
Sorry,
going to
guys,
be
I
the
got
best.
some Bernie Sanders in this.
All right, so
We're going to
Killing
take
the
the top
suspense.
1% chant and we're going to distribute it to 100% of the people.
the song
away,
that
Trey.
Ben has been putting forward that I
We
stopped listening.
We
and
don't listen to each
blacked
other
out.
when we do this
We don't.
podcast. We have a,
We're all married.
have
We're
established
all
that.
married men. We're all married men. We don't listen at all.
So we are referencing Chapel Roan, "Hot to Go," and in the song she says, sings HOTOGO.
HOTT. I even know the dance. HOTTO.
And what does that spell
So,
for
Hot to Go.
Okay.
So my
I've been over this. It's like
I'm putting forward. So the first verse before the first
This is too
rendition
many
of Hot
words.
to Go. Well, she starts out. I think we could go with Columbus. Do you like the beat? I made it so you play for me. It's like 96 degrees. Although she says it's like 199 degrees.
That's
So
too,
when
yeah,
you're
that's
doing it
wrong
with
anyway.
me,
Yeah.
doing it with me, DIEGOO, pass and shoot and score a goal. Let's go crew and score a goal. And then Cucho, you could do CUCHO, pass and shoot and score a goal. Let's go crew and score a goal. Whatever. But
ROMERO.
So if you just rewind back
got
four,
a red card.
I said
So-
CUCHOGO.
you did. I started it with Diego, though. And then I realized you could do it with Cucho as well.
Okay, I want to mention one thing. I just went off here for a little bit and listened to the song.
It's
Yeah.
a great song.
I have never heard this song.
I hadn't either. And I heard it.
Yeah, but
So
how,
let's
how
just
many,
write a song nobody heard of and make a song out of it.
how
That
many
makes no
chants
sense.
Start at
though
Western
have you
Princess.
heard?
Start
I
at
have
55
vinyl.
seconds. Start at 55 seconds. That is where this comes in.
The whole record slaps.
Yes, it is for
CAMAACHO.
I mean,
Yeah.
is it for children?
DERJO.
Wait, legit. Have you guys actually heard the song though?
I don't
I've
think
not.
I've
You
heard it.
Can't ask.
I have not
I did
purposely listened to a single
45
song of
seconds ago.
Go to start it at minute 55 on this song of Hot to Go.
Forwards or backwards?
Forwards.
And is the Wizard of Oz playing? Hold on.
I can't play this.
No.
It's
Okay, I can see how this can be a.
I know
That
because
literally
that's
they're
what I
going
said.
DIEGO, pass and shoot and score a goal.
We have literally done this.
Which is no, dude. I'm not taking credit for
I'm
it.
just
We
glad
had the same
you're on the
wavelength.
same
It
page.
was not intentional. But
Okay. All right.
100% this would work. This
All right.
would be a
Now I want to
great
hear
chance.
Haas's.
So let's give it a shot. Next time you all find a way to make it to one of the games, just give it a shot. See what happens. Speaking of being on the same page, I'd like to say 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let's get into our before we want to review the tables.
Just tables! Tables! But tables! I can't know how to hear any more about tables!
Currently in these, we got Miami in first with 59 points, Cincinnati in second with 51 points, your Columbus Crew in third with 49, Red Bull in fourth with 43, NYCFC with 39, Charlotte with 38, Orlando with 37, Toronto with 33, DC with 32. That rounds out the playoff picture.
So I mean, we're in very good position to a top 3. I mean,
Yeah.
but this can have more implications too, because we also, if we going through again, this can implication against Galaxy, LAFC
Home field.
in a potential final at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also playing Cincy at home for the if we play them in the playoffs. Because Miami's not making the playoffs, right, Himmel?
Not in a million years.
Oops, all clinched.
I will point out that Messi
whisper will open it.
Messi has fizzled out. He is not a factor.
Yeah, because his ankle's the size of 2 ankles.
He has 3 ankles.
3 of them?
3 ankles. Yeah. Okay. And so we this week are playing Cincinnati away.
Yeah.
The last such contest was played in November of last year in the Eastern Conference Final, where we went down 2 goals, and we're in better condition. We tied up that game, not least mentionably by a dong shot by Christian Ramirez, and
No relation to Dong Harbor.
Oh no, it was Christian Ramirez, and then who scored the second one?
Oh boy, my brain's like fried.
I don't know, but I think that Molino had the assist on the
Second
winner.
assist. Cucho had the assist
Anyway,
with header back.
that was in
Rossi-
extra time. Extra time. So, what do you guys think? We're gonna be. I don't know. This will be a great game. They are ahead of us in the table, but we have. So let's see how many worst games played. We're 1 game back from them.
Yeah, we win this. We jump them.
We
jump them in points. We'll be up by 1 with a game in hand.
Yeah, but we'll have. No, I don't think so, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think we jump them because we only have one fewer game, and we have 2 fewer wins.
Well, it's 49 to 51 points. So if we win and we
Yeah,
get 3 points, we get 52. They stay at 51.
Oh,
points
so
behind.
3 plus 49 is greater than 51. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mathcast.
Okay. Great.
Science.
Thanks for walking me through that one. And okay. And then Haas, you want to talk about current form?
Cincinnati recently beat Montreal 4-1. They lost 2-0 to Miami. They lost 2-4 at home to Philadelphia. Tied 1-1. That's League's Cup, but nonetheless,
Santos Laguna.
they're
Laguna
a little
Beach.
bit here and there when it comes to recent form. They are 16, 8, and 3 overall with a 7, 5, and 2 home record.
Yeah, they won the last game, but before that, they've been dropping a lot of points. They had a big chance of going and catch up, but in Miami, but they're definitely off that race now.
Well, they lost Miazga in the back, so they've been leaking goals. I mean, they're also not that good at home, which doesn't make any sense to me. It still blows my mind that they just struggle at home but do really well on the road. And it's like, what's happening here?
They're 9-3-1 on the road, 7, 5, and 2 at home.
Interesting. Okay.
Got it.
You guys ready to lay it out?
I would mention that obviously last week, I don't think anybody got the score right. I don't think anybody had even picked us to have 0 goals. That leaves the table, of course, unchanged with me on top and Ben and Haas on the bottom.
Yeah, for some reason I kept thinking, I was like, if we can like get 2 goals, at least I get a point, even if we lose like 10-2. And then
Did you say that all 3, Matt, Ben, and Haas are at the bottom?
No, just Ben and Haas. And to your point, you said there's going to be, because of my prediction, obviously Camacho and Farsi did not score, but we did see some funny, goals in this game. And you were predicting, we are expecting to see some interesting
You're trying
goals.
to take credit for predicting funny goals.
Right now. What's the XG for funny goals?
The XGFG.
Hey, at least I didn't foreshadow. At least I didn't foreshadow a 4-0 loss. How about that?
Oh, you're mad at me. I will,
Yes, I am mad at you.
I will say I leaned pretty hard into that. Like last time, I remember Seattle coming in and winning 4-0. So I'm going 4-0 the other way.
It's kind of a wacky goal.
This is just a listener's perspective.
Yeah, maybe you should try doing the work sometime.
Yes.
Yeah, Trey.
Yeah, Trey.
H-O-T-T-O-G-O.
All right, go.
It is great.
You guys
I'm
ready?
glad you
Are you
I'm
ready?
glad you-
Are you ready?
We're on board.
1,
Wait,
2.
nope.
No.
I apologize.
All right, let's talk about D's.
I
next
don't know.
games.
I thought I
You got to think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
Buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
All right, Ben, you say 1-3 crew, dingbat, horny toads. Anything to add to that?
Typing
Is dingbat a acronym? It's
Yeah,
all
because
caps.
it's in all caps. Yeah, it stands for.
horny toads.
upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Hit me up.
It's also podcast at upper90club.com.
Yeah, good thing we got that because we've gotten all these emails.
You don't have to worry. We have a benefactor that's taking
Emphasis
care of all
on
that
Ben.
for us.
All right.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Thanks. Thank you. You can also book our comedy
Is that not
troupe.
what benefactor means? It's not where things that you buy
Anytime
for
we get
us
subbed on, it's a benefactor. Never know what's going to happen. Anyway, Upper 90 Club.
XB. Yeah. Okay. Trey, you said 1-2. Anything to add?
It's going to be a tough game down at the Tickle, so we'll see.
Okay. And that's a win, right? 1-2 win, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, we
Board
got
says
the numbers right.
2-2.
Boo.
No, I think we're fired up. It's a tough
tie?
place to go. It's one of those games you kind of toss the records out of it too, because it's a lot of stake.
Toss
Okay.
the feathers.
Ohio.
All right.
The good news is we
also,
can keep the records and it's still the same. It's
also
still a lot at stake.
predicting 2-2-2 is Haas.
I typed it in first.
Do we know that?
I mean,
But we
he
sent
posted
it at
it
the
first.
same
He
time.
posted it first. Yeah, it's sent at the same time. So you guys tied for when you posted that.
I was trying to find a way to break apart in the bracket. Mort had to ruin that.
Okay, so you're not actually
you have a lot
thinking
of
about
other people
the
you can
result.
catch up
You're
with.
just-
Okay.
You're not thinking about the result of the game. You're thinking about how to get yourself out of the basement.
A little bit of both.
Okay, and then I said 1 to 3, like Ben.
Yeah, dog.
1-3 crew. This is our team. You're a bunch of posers. Score more than one goal. Dare you? No way. I mean, I think when you talk about going to the tickle and having a hard time or whatever, that's really goals for. The goals against, they ain't gonna score more than one, guys. It's not gonna happen.
Well, the last game they scored 4, but I guess it was against Montreal.
The one from midfield.
That was actually impressive.
That was a sick. I'm sorry. That was a sick goal.
Yeah,
and he has done it. He done it twice this season, by the way.
Who was their other guy who he replaced somebody that was on the left who was really good? I want to say Barrios, but that doesn't seem right.
Something like that.
And then is anyone going?
Man, probably.
We wanted to. We were
Want
looking
to.
into it and all that.
Could possibly. Don't have tickets.
I'm gonna be in West
Send
Virginia.
tickets.
So
also we have soccer tournament here
West
in
Virginia.
Columbus, so.
West Virginia golf trip
Oh, that's your golf trip weekend.
down to Ogilvy.
I think we'll try. I think what I'm going to
with
do.
all the deer.
Deers. I think.
Deers.
Yeah, I think we'll probably just. I kind of want to go out to where everybody's watching it, where it is like Land Grant or any of the actual spots. Because we never do that. Yeah, we always.
My house.
Well, I thought you said you were in a soccer tournament.
Well, I'm still
No,
here.
he's
in town.
having everybody on his deck.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Come on,
Everybody come on my deck.
Yep.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. Everybody's gonna come over to Mort's deck. We're gonna watch
Really?
that game. So it's open invitation.
Really emphasis that E in deck.
Well, it's room for many.
Okay.
Plenty of upper deckers.
Plenty of lower deckers too. Top or bottom. Just
Mort,
just
you
come
were
on,
in
come on.
Atlanta this week, weren't you?
I was.
And we saw that you were at the what do they call it? Benz Arena.
Mercedes-Benz.
The Mercedes-Benz Arena. Dude, that is a cool place from the outside.
Great football stadium where they play soccer sometimes.
Yep. It is really neat. But Atlanta, downtown, dead.
Dude. They had the
Dead as the people sleeping around everywhere. Not sleeping around, but they're sleeping
naps
everywhere.
It's a nap city. That's where Nappy Roots came from, right?
I was just thinking about mentioned the stadium when we brought up the upper decker. Okay. Let's make hell real for these Kentuckians.
Let's
get
going. We'll have everybody back.
Yeah.
From international
Yeah,
duty.
they should be rested.
Will we?
Sounds like a lot of them going to be well rested.
Schulte played great for the United States national team.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't they have another game?
So did Aiden.
Going to play.
They play.
Do we know?
They played
we
New
said last
Zealand.
week
They
they-
played New Zealand at Cincinnati. They'll play at Tickle.
Yeah. I think Solina is probably going to start that one, and he's
Gaga isn't on the bench.
Cucho maybe getting time.
Gaga didn't show up. He's still with Barnsley. Am I the only person that watches soccer?
I hope he doesn't get time.
He's not. He's not here.
Maybe it'll be Gaga.
Oh, I don't know why I'm on this podcast. I feel bananas.
Does anyone hear anything?
Is this thing on? Tap, 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 tap,
really
tap,
quiet.
tap, tap.
I don't know. I haven't heard anyone speak in a while. I feel bananas.
When did Mars get here? Listen, if we're not listening to anybody,
hey,
it's
guys,
Mars.
Let's all promise that in this off season we do the episode where Ben and I act like we won't talk to each other for the entire episode. We have Morgan on, and we'll ask him to relay every message that we have to one another.
Oh, by the way,
stay
speaking of
tuned
Morgan-
because creative ideas like that are on the way. So.
We're really funny also. So I don't know
If you didn't forget.
if you didn't forget.
While on the subject of Morgan, shout out to Alex Morgan, retired.
Yeah. She gone.
She gone.
She's having
I mean,
another
she was
baby.
pretty old, right?
And she's having another baby.
Oh, is she? Good for her.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's like a 2-year. That's like a 2-year hiatus right there.
Babies are the worst.
No, babies are awesome.
Yeah, babies are awesome.
It's what they grow up to be.
Text us your thoughts. I think that's
I can tell
it.
you.
Let's talk in a week. Go Crew! Woo!
It's go time!
I love you. Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew! Are you going to keep the clap in?
No.
You won't?
No.
I thought it was cute. All right.